Hey there everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Kent the Beefy with the Game Vault. We're going to talk about this article I saw from PC Gamer, just came out a few hours ago. Dragon Age the Veilguard. Its leap forward in trans inclusion comes from a heartfelt place, but its problems left me feeling frustrated, angry, and tired. Here we go again. Let's cue up the music and see... whatever. Alright, so having played about 58, this is by, who is this? Harvey Randall. Let's take a look at Harvey Randall real quick. And we'll take a look and see what this game's doing right now. Yeah, okay. Younger fella from the looks of things here. Dragon Age is currently sitting at about 32,000 players, 36 in the last 24 hours. Still dropping off rapidly. Going into the abyss. Hopefully we can stop talking about this game soon, but if they keep talking about this stuff, then, we'll keep talking about it. Anyway, having played about 50 hours of Dragon Age the Veilguard over the course of the past month, I felt a lingering dread as a queer person. One that's manifested itself as a familiar thought. God damn it, this is going to be talked about forever. I will be unable to escape the hot takes, the tweets, the Reddit threads, the discourse about this thing for years. That's not what you want, representation. I mean, in case you're unfamiliar, Dragon Age the Veilguard has options for trans and non-binary rooks. Moreover, one companion, Taash, has an entire storyline dedicated to realizing some big revelations about their gender. Spoilers for that to follow in case you've been living under a rock and know nothing about video games. I want to make this clear at the outset. I do not think these inclusive elements should be a big deal in an ideal world. In fact, the reason I'm writing this is because I want to take a story with these elements in it seriously, as if there wasn't a big culture war brimming overhead, including a certain election result that'll likely result in harms to my friends across the pond. Oh, so this is some gay Brit who's afraid that because Donald Trump won, we're going to start throwing gay people off of buildings like they do in the Middle East. Listen here, you schmuck. That's not the way it works. They all survived the last time he was in office. It's no big deal. Freaking idiots, man. They're absolute idiots. We don't just deserve representation. We deserve representation in stories that are also broadly good. We ought to be able to engage with these stories in the same way we engage with any piece of art, with deep investment and a thoughtful idea to identify what works and what doesn't. I want to talk as if the storm clouds are not looming. In the spirit of that, I'd like to tell you something I find a little nerve-wracking and funny. I feel strongly enough about a video game that I'm about to come out to try to prove a point. I'm revealing something about my private life so I can do a take on the internet. Honestly, it feels about right. I've been going by all anti-pronouns, that's he, she, and they, for a while now, and feeling weird about my gender long since before that. I chose the non-binary option for Rook partially because I thought it'd be fun to play a non-binary Canary given the lore implications, but also because I was curious whether or not the game would actually make me feel seen. There's that word again. I think the last idiot talked about being seen, especially in the way I think it's trying to. It has both failed and succeeded, and here we are. We can't make them happy, right? You give them the gayest, most trans, non-binary game in the history of humanity, and they're still unhappy. Anyway, it has both failed and succeeded, and if I don't talk about why, my head is going to explode. In the interest of an intact cranium, which is shoved all the way up his rectum, I'll now embark on the unenviable task of skirting around, sounding like people who'd rather not see people like me in video games at all, while also talking about how Dragon Age the Veilguard falls short for me personally. I invite you to hear me out because the truth is way more complicated than inclusion bad or inclusion good, and no one exemplifies this more than Taash. Oh, look at this, a queer guy talking a lot. Oh my god, dude. This is a book, I'm sorry. We're not reading through all this garbage. Oh god. Yeah, that's a shocker. A queer guy talking a lot. Non-binary, trans, and various other gender terms. Talk about how these words aren't appropriate in a fantasy setting under any circumstances. But he doesn't think it's useful to view it through these lenses. However, while I think it could work, I don't think it works here. Well, he's right there. He thinks efforts of Taash by writer Trick Weeks as non-binary themselves. They've been writing for BioWare for over a decade and a half, and are responsible for some of BioWare's best darlings: Sola's, Morden Sola's, Tally, and Tash's story. Clearly scans as a tale of personal importance to them. Writers rarely get exactly what they want when working at a studio. Weeks wanted to do everything I lay out in the following critique. But here we go. Here we go. We're going to have another queer guy who's probably crying for representation all the time. This one's non-binary, not trans like the last one. And they're not happy, right? We get this story where the whole point of this side quest is for Trash here to come out to Trash's mother here and state that they're non-binary and explain what non-binary means. And then Trash's mother's like, well, that's weird, and yada, 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 yada. I think they kind of go through the whole scene here. And it's, it doesn't make this guy happy. Whatever. It's sorry about that, dude. They took a franchise here, a beloved franchise, an IP that lots of people love. 12 million copies sold of the last iteration of this game, and they turned it into a trauma dump for the writers, and that's sad. And I hope your friend here, what's their name again? Wiki, gets fired, because Wiki did a terrible job here from what I've heard. It's just, representation like that is just stupid in these games, and feeling seen and all that, it's stupid. I don't get what you people want, I don't want to be seen in a game. I want to play a game. Okay, I don't need to be seen in a game. I don't care what the character is. I didn't play Pac-Man. I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to be seen when I played Centipede, Asteroids, any of that crap. And moving into more modern games where there's more human characters. Think about how many games don't have human characters to them. There's probably more games that don't have humans in them than do. It's... I don't know, man. It's almost like it's like we gave you guys too many toys, and you just took it too far. Like maybe we ought to take character creators out of games. Just take it away. Maybe we ought to take romance options out of games, because you guys clearly can't handle it. The writers clearly can't handle it without making everything stupid and retarded and gay. It's just awful. We can't put character creators in there because now you want to put wieners on women and vaginas on men and, do all this stupid stuff. You can't even call them men and women anymore. It's body A and body B. And it's just gotten out of hand. It's absolute ridiculousness and all that. I'm so glad that these games are failing left and right. And with each failure and with each victory, just the momentum builds. And all I can say is keep fighting this with your wallets. Don't buy these games. Do your research first. Don't pre-order. If you smell something funny, research it a little bit. Watch some videos on it. Look into the game itself. Look into who's writing the game, who's directing the game. Look into the history of the actual studio itself. What other stuff have they published? I'm really looking forward to Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm kind of thinking of taking the guys from the ARC thing here into that, and we could all have a lot of fun in there, trolling people and having a good time. But now I see that older article saying that the director's saying that he's glad that game won't get released during a Trump presidency. And I'm like, oh, God, why? What are you making it? Is it going to be garbage now? Is it going to be all woke crap? I get it. There's a female lead in it, which can be bad, because we see too much that they're just doing it to make the lead female. But it doesn't necessarily mean something's bad. If the story calls for it, it could be great. A Laura Croft or something like that's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with that, If it's done just because she's female, it's set in Vice City, which is based off of Miami. So she looks Puerto Rican, I believe, or something like that. She looks Hispanic, kind of darker skin, and that makes perfect sense in the setting, right? It's not like it's set in Norway, and she's like that, right? It's not like she's a god, a Viking goddess, and she's black, or something stupid like that. So it makes sense in the context of things, and I expect, silly gay shit in there and all that because of the setting. Vice City, Miami is pretty damn gay. There's a lot of crap like that going on down there, so you expect to see that stuff. It's not going to be the end of the world on things like that, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. You think we're ever going to make these people happy? I don't think so. I think it's just time to stop catering to them. There's such a small percentage of people. And, you know, I was thinking about it the other day. It's not them that we're catering to. You know, it's the suburban white women that support all this trash. Those are the ones we're catering to. Those are the ones, that's the demographic that wants this crap. I guarantee you a good portion of the LGBT community, the same portion of ones that aren't chronically online, just the normal people that you work with and you're friends with and all that, that you can hang out with, and they're not, you know, running around throwing rainbows and on everything and being stupid. I guarantee you those people don't care if they're seen in a video game. They just want to have fun. You know, they just want to have a good old time, and they're not trying to push any agendas and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to ring that bell for notifications. As always, look at the Beefy with the Game Vault. Thanks for dropping by. I'll see you next time. Until then, peace.